I remember when I fought Nick Diaz, he's similar style, and he's talking to you. A lot of guys, they throw haymakers at him and they hit, and he's like, I can't say on camera what he says to me, but
Say it, George. Say
you hit like a bee. Come on, friend. And he's insulting you, and man, you feel claustrophobic. Like I just put my hard jab, and he's laughing at me, but it's all a fake. It's all part of his strategy. And you feel like you're claustrophobic and you're panicking until you don't have no longer gas because you empty your gas tank for survival. And him, he's a marathon runner. He's a triathlete. That's when he's at his best. Yeah, in deep water, he get you in the deep waters. So I was prepared for that. I know that even Ferraz, my coach, says, be ready to go 5 rounds. Like you're going to throw some crazy good shot and he's not going to blink. He's going to make you believe that doesn't hurt him. But
Not just that, but his boxing was so underrated. Like he is better. He's better than his brother, man. Like when it comes to just strictly stand up at his prime, at the time when he was, fighting the guys like Georges St-Pierre.
Paul Daly is a good example. Paul Daly like threw everything he had and tire himself out. After what he did,
It's like with the Diaz brothers, and I talk to Mike Tyson about this all the time. And I asked him, and it reminds me of the Diaz brothers. I'm like, Mike, what made Ali so special? What made Muhammad Ali so special? And he just sits there, and as he's smoking a joint, and he's like, you know what it is? It's his ability to endure pain. Muhammad Ali's greatest strength, and this is what he said, he says his ability to be able to take punishment and then capitalize at the right damn time. Is what made Muhammad Ali. This is coming from Mike Tyson's that mouth of what he's seen. But you don't hear a lot of people talking about people's endurance to be able to take a damn beating, to eventually find that right calculation. So all right, now it's my turn. I'm going to finish you. Georges St-Pierre, Matt Hughes too. There was that one time at that fight. I remember I remember actually I watched that fight live. This was in the early to mid 2000s, and I remember George said, "You know what? He's not that good. Like I was willing to fight. Like my head got to me. I was able to get awkward. I was able to lose it." And you said, "The next time around, I'm going to beat this dude." So it was like you made that, you affirmed it. And I think when you talk about John Jones, what he said to Cormier, it was like you had said it before that too. Yeah. So it's almost like it brings everything back. So you can credit John on it, but at the same time, George, is what switched from that first fight to that second fight, and then obviously you ended up stopping Matt Hughes.
Yeah, I think confidence is very important because if I make an analogy, an athlete can have all the skills in the world, but if he doesn't have the confidence, it's a little bit like someone who has a lot of money in his bank account but no way of accessing it. You need the confidence. And there's guys that are very, very talented, but when the lights are on, they lose all their confidence. They don't know how to build that up, and it's very important. If you want to be successful in sport or in everything, every situation is the art of war. Even when, let's say you go ask a woman or a woman for a date, if you go without confidence, your chance of succeeding is none, is zero. You have to be confident. You go to ask your boss for a raise. You go for anything. You go for an interview for a job. If you look down and your employer will see it and it'll be like, no, I don't want that guy. Everything you do, you need to do it with confidence. It's very important.
So that's all it was from the Matt Hughes 1 to 2. You just became more confident. It was more of a belief because you already been in there with them, or it was more of like, no, I'm not gonna lose again.
I think I was a little bit better than I was when I fought him the first time in terms of skills, in terms of knowledge. But I think what made the big difference is my confidence.
But even watching one, George, you're papping him up.
When I fought Matt Hughes the first time, I could not even look at him in the eyes when I did the stare down with him. I was going into that fight to not lose instead of going there to win. And I was a very different person from the first one to the second one.
Yeah, I think it's a lot to do with, obviously, mentally they build this guy up. He's that guy. He's Matt Hughes. He's the biggest, baddest, scariest guy. And no matter what you do, You know, and a lot of people say now, oh, just block it out, ignore it, ignore it. You can't. You can't. You're a human being. You know, it's like reading comments is 99 people says, oh, you're the best ever. But the one person says you suck. That's the only one that you really think about. So it's almost hard. They build them up in your head, and then you get in and you kind of play a little bit safe in a way. But then when you finish and you feel the guy, and I'm saying this from experience because I just in my last fight, and you feel the guy, you're like, he's not that good. Yeah. I mean, he's good, but I'm better. I know I'm better.
In a way, it's not that he's not that good, it's that you're better than you thought you were.
Yeah, I'm better than I thought I was.
Yeah.
And I have more to give that I didn't really give. And that's how I felt in this, my last fight, which might have, you know, they build him up. He's the biggest, scariest guy in the division, the wolf, whatnot, you know. And I was in a place where earlier I asked for the fight. I went to Dana and Hunter. I sat with them in the office and I said, hey, I want that guy. And they were like, doesn't make sense for us, you know. And I understand on their perspective. I understood at the time because, I mean, he's a young star that you're building. I go in and I cut that train off. And
not good for business.
Yeah, it's not good for business, you know. And they partially knew, you know, well, especially because when I ask for a fight, they know what I'm gonna do to the guy and what I'm in my mentality at the point. Because I've only asked for maybe 2 fights. You know, one of them was at Masvidal, the second fight, and so it's just I asked and it didn't make sense for them. But eventually, months and months, because I wanted a camp. Let me prepare for the guy and fight the guy. But months and months later, they didn't have one, and they called me in 2 weeks and, hey, you want to fly there and fight the guy? And I said, I'll let you know in the morning. So I go to the gym. I call some guys. We spar. Yeah, let's go. I'm not as bad as I thought. Let's go.
Did you take risks like that? What he's saying, like what Kamaru's saying? Because in reality, man, when people find out the shit that he had prior to fighting, they're gonna trip out. But were you one of those kamikazes like, I'll take the fight?
I took some fight that I had injuries. I mean, not injuries that would really makes a huge difference, but that injuries that now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, shit, maybe I should not have taken it. Or personal issues. When you have personal issues, even
is that worse than an
it's
injury?
even worse because I'm gonna tell you why. I think I see it as a triangle. You know, like you have your emotion, your mental, and your physical. If one of it doesn't work well, it affects everything. For example, if you have an argument with, I give you an example. If you have an argument with, I don't know, like your loved one or someone die out that you care about, emotionally, you're not 100%. Yeah. It will affect your mental and it will affect your physical because maybe you're not gonna sleep well. Your emotion will delay your recuperation, and then you get more prone to injuries. So everything is linked with each other. So when I tell the young guys in the gym, sometimes they like, oh, I feel like I'm overtrained. I don't understand. I haven't done more volume. I'm like, yeah, maybe it's because something is not going well in your life, in your personal life. Oh, I haven't thought of it. I'm like, yeah, but think it that way. You know what I mean? It's all linked together. You know, it's very important, you know.